Hello. Hi, good morning, Sleazy, Akashiro, and Eunice. Hello, hello. So we're going to be, playing today because I didn't get the bad ending for the last route because it was a 12-hour stream yesterday, and I didn't even know I couldn't upload more than 12 hours onto YouTube and start uploading it, and now it declined it, so now I got to split it anyways. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. So we played so long that I was starting to stumble through words really bad. Like I wasn't even understanding sentences by the very, very end of it. So we still have to get that ending. And we have officially, Sheen, my husband. Hi, Ninja. But yeah, so we're going to try to get that ending first, and then we're going to go back and do the other endings for all the guys, because now we have Salvation unlocked. I was in the right screen. That's a bad habit. So we're going to scroll all the way up. Hi, Asia. Surprised you're up this early. I also don't know if there's a different ending if you only pick the answers that Anku likes versus the answers that Adolf likes. I also did the one thing I haven't done in a while. Well, actually, that's not true. I looked up other people's opinions since we finished the main story. A lot of people like Anku, but do not like Adolf. So apparently that's a very common trope. I still hate Adpol. Listen, he wasn't bad. Let me know. No matter what you say, I'm not. Growing more and more frightened. I tried my best to wrestle free from his grip. He suddenly came to his senses. He let go of my wrist.
すまない。私としたことが少々取り乱してしまったようだ。
Here's I lost control of myself. Alright, perfect. So what do you need to become affiliated? Oh goodness, I don't know, a lot of things. I have to have an average of 3 people watching my streams. And I don't have that. I have some lovely friends and family and Asia. And Mocha, but Mocha. Alright, so we're just trying to get the options that do not have a flower bloom. That's all we're doing today. Don't tell him. That'll worry him. His route is so boring, plus the whole brother thing too. It's foster brother, they're not related. He was 15 when he first met her. I don't actually remember how old he was anymore. Smile. You're right, I trust you completely. I smiled in appreciation for everything he said to me. Before Adolph could look at my smile directly, he looked away as if embarrassed.
それにだな。
Oh wait, should she not have earrings? I thought this whole time she had earrings. Oh no, it's just the necklace, isn't it? You love me as a man or a brother, like GameStop. Yeah, that was really awkward last night. I'm like, please don't say that. Like, I'm drinking a Crown and Coke, and I hope I get my check today. Those are admirable things.
そばにいろと。お前が先に言い出したんだぞ。
Let me remind you that you're the one who asked me to stay with you. Okay, cool. Just gotta get through the new text to get to be able to skip button. I'm curious what their bad ending's like. Ooh, maybe she just dies. Everything's the same, but she dies at that very last part. We'll see. I'm gonna hopefully try my best to get all the endings today. If I don't, I'll have to continue tomorrow. I work in the afternoon, so we'll see how it goes. I know the answer, but let's just say I like to save because I'm scared I'll forget to save if I don't do it every time. Let's go see Eves. If you'd like, maybe we can go see Eves one day. I think Eves would be happy to meet the person who formed the pact with his family long ago.
いや、彼らの血族には随分な苦労をかけてしまったからね。今さら合わす顔がない。
I have put his bloodline through enough hardships that I can hardly face him now. Hardships? Could he mean the persecution by the people? Well, I won't force you to go see him. Alright, cool. I'm consuming freshly poured water and ordering wrapped paper for gifts. I still have wrapped paper in the closet, so I don't think I'm going to order any this year, but all of my Christmas string lights weren't working. I had 5 that I bought last year. They're in the color purple. My tree is black. Everything's goth in this house. And I plugged in the first one. It didn't turn on. I'm like, oh, maybe it's the outlet. I tried a different outlet. It still doesn't work. I'm like, all right, well, maybe the line has a dead one. Tries another set of lines. Doesn't work. Tries another set of lines. It doesn't work. So we went and bought new ones, and now they're red. So now we have red Christmas tree lights. It's a little more haunting, kind of Stranger Thingies vibes. And then we haven't added any of the decorations yet, so that's next. I am personally drinking just a Diet Dr. Pepper because I just drink Diet Dr. Pepper. Typically the cherry or cream flavored ones, but we gotta do what we gotta do. All right, I have to accept the work order because considering the consequences ends in a bad ending. And that's how I meet Nadia, which I'm still upset they didn't show us an adult, not adult, but 5-year older Nadia. Like, come on, give me. This could end up in a bad ending. Some of them you have to save because it could turn into a bad ending if you pick the wrong choice. All right. I'm his sister. I wanted to walk out here with him to make sure he was okay. You two sure don't look alike. We're not siblings by blood.
保護されていた施設が同じなんだ。
We come from the same orphanage. And I consider him my real brother. The guards seemed to be convinced that we were telling the truth by how smoothly our responses were connected. No, we're not.
疑ってすまないな。最近、あらゆる区域で
Tightened up security. They believed that one a lot better than the other option. Oh, my Elgato decided to just crackle just now. That was random. And here I left it on. Oh. I'm seeing a face everyone's going to be happy to see in a second, but I'm going to unplug my Elgato camera for just a second. Let it breathe. I always plug it in first and have the video playing in advance because it likes to stop. We have another Elgato in the house, and I was going to swap it out. I just don't know where it's at to see if that one does the same thing. Sorry, I didn't get to wrap your gifts. It's okay. I was going to put they came in little bags that you sent, and they're really cute. We were going to put the whole bag under the tree, and then we'll divvy it up. But now we have to get you something. Okay, I was worried for a second. It took a second to load up. Yours is actually going to be the first presents under the tree. I don't like to put mine up too soon. I have a very nosy child who will sometimes open gifts in advance. Even if you tell him if he opens them, he doesn't get them. All right. Don't say a thing. I could tell from his voice that Anku sincerely cared about me, but I wasn't entirely sure I could disclose to him that Adolphe had a secret he wanted to keep hidden. The Watchman of Death pressuring smile forced me to tell him what happened. This is the second time they gave you a choice and the choice didn't matter. Like, why are you doing this? I just realized it's really dark in here. All right. Well, as I continued flipping through the diaries, I confided in him and told him what happened that night. Yeah, there we go. That's so annoying. That's the second time where you had a choice where it's like, don't tell him or do tell him. And you go, don't tell him. And he's like, I'm going to tell him anyways. Oh, stars. Also, my sister keeps playing Lethal Company. Is that the right word? And I keep watching Saikuno play it. So I might end up playing that at some point because I just think it looks hilarious. I suck at that style of
ア
game.
ドルフは信じられるのに
We'll see how it goes.
私の言葉が信じられない
You believe what Adolphe says, but you don't believe me. I can't remember actually. First off, Anku, I trust you more than Adolphe. I responded with a weary smile. I'm sorry, but that's not what I meant. I'm saying that the kindness you've shown me goes well beyond that. It seemed he didn't fully understand. Lethal Company is hilarious to watch. I watched Saikuno stream a very long one, and one of the scenes, they played with a person who had never played the game before, so she had no idea about any of the controls. And they bought a teleporter, and he teleported her inside because there was a monster right outside the ship, and as soon as she teleported in, she spoke. And it's one of those creatures that when you speak, it jumps you, and it jumped her, and I was just, I felt so bad. But it's hilarious. And then, I don't know how many clips I've seen so many clips from it as well, but it looks like a lot of fun if you have a good team of people. All right. Sheen and Mathis has died. I forgot this was an option. If we don't do something now, Sheen and Mathis and everyone else would have died for nothing. The plan was for us to work together so that we could uncover the truth behind the curse, right?
あいつらの死について俺も思うところがないわけじゃない
It's not like I haven't thought about what they died for.
だが俺は物言わぬ死者よりお前を優先する
But I'm prioritizing you over those who aren't with us anymore. See, he's prioritizing me over the dead. That's how you know. Can't skip.
だが
That said, my friend who's just started streaming has played it a couple times. So many clippable moments come from that game.
それにはお前の意思も
I'm
含
trying to
まれ
think
て
if
る
there's
からな
anything else that stood out from the last stream I watched. There was some really funny things. Elgato, you're just doing this because I'm trying to get through this story, and you're just trying to make this take longer. I feel like this is a personal attack against me. And then Eunice doesn't want to stream. That's why Eunice doesn't stream. A streamer I watched, she was playing Lethal Company. She was like, let me sacrifice you guys for money. They were, actually, so in the stream I watched that Saikuno did, since I'm waiting for my Elgato to restart, they were so confident when they went to the thing. They're like, oh, we got it all. And so they sold everything, and they were short like $30. And so they started selling everything else, like any keys. And then he bought a shovel and started killing all of them. And then one of them glitched, so he couldn't pick up the body. And he's like, I killed all my friends for nothing. And I was just like, oh my God. My Elgato's just probably upset because I did a 12-hour stream yesterday, honestly. But yeah, it was so bad. He killed every single one of them, and then it wasn't enough money. It was so bad. Prioritizing you also includes your wishes. Do you mean
今まで散々
we're
我
gonna
慢さ
buy
せ
a
てきたんだ
pony?
その分お前が望むことは可能な限り叶えてやりたい
You put Wait, with a lot until now and fill as many of your wishes as possible? Okay. I honestly, I don't remember what her wish was anymore. It's been a long day. I had no intention of streaming 12 hours yesterday. I was like, whatever. And then I was like, you know what? We're on the last chapter. Let's just finish it. And the last chapter was over 4 hours long. All right. If we put let's escape together, it's a bad ending automatically. Because apparently it takes me straight to his dungeon. Because he's not really in prison here, from my understanding. I could be wrong. He definitely wasn't actually murdered. Unless he had another clone. Oh, I didn't think about that. Maybe he was murdered, but he had a backup clone. No, that doesn't make sense because the royal family straight up said they're going to invite him back into the fold. I don't know. I'm confused. I was losing my shit for 12 hours. I remember berries. I could just make a bunch of clips of just this is watch what is it? Watch my chat lose their mind for 12 hours and it's every time you said I'm dying. I want some time to think once we make it out of our escape. I hadn't gotten a chance to say anything to him, but that was already cutting the conversation short. Really? It didn't even have like a second line of dialogue when you choose that option. How funny. That makes my life a lot faster. I'm also confused, and I'm pretty sure I was trying to Google without Googling if there's an Anku route where you actually end up with Anku and not a Dolph. And I also wasn't deep diving too deep because I didn't want any spoilers, even though we pretty much have the whole story laid out to us now. I can't remember if there's any secrets we don't know now. We know who the supporter is, which was who I said it was. We know who the queen was. We know why Sheen invented Reliver that could change someone's appearance. Try and stop him. I won't have you suffer again alone. I tried to take Anku's hand, but he quickly moved away.
大丈夫だ、姫君。また遅れをとって君を心配させるようなことはしない。
Do not worry, dear. I will not, dear princess. I will not fail and worry you again like before.
この男も少しは成長したようだからね。しばらく預ける分には。
Seems familiar. Okay. Perfect. We're doing it. We're making so much progress. Wahahaha. I also like that there's a stack of just statues next to my bookshelf because I haven't actually put them on the bookshelf yet. I'm busy. It's like I have another Tanjiro, but I already have like several Tanjiros. You can't see them because I think he's one too high, but I have several Tanjiros up there. And I have the most fashionable guy in Demon Slayer, and I haven't put him up yet either. Jumping. Certain person pinned my message while I was losing my shit looking at Eunice. Yeah, she was laughing pretty much the entire time. Zenitsu is the best. Zenitsu is the worst. Oh no. He has to pass out just to be brave. He doesn't even have a character development in that regard either, which really is disappointing and I think was a missed opportunity. It's a Nosuke. And Nezuko. My chair's Nezuko. Why would... Why you? Oh, is this the bad ending? We're not getting an option right now? Before Anku could move, Adolph drew out his sword and decapitated Tahat. A rain of blood fell from the air, and his head slowly rolled next to Salome as if reaching out for her.
Adolf, omae.
Needs to not work so hard. That is a good trait. Adolf, you.
目的は達した。シアンと合流する。
Mission accomplished. Just meet up with Sheen.
あいつなら治療こそできなくても、こいつをこの世に留める方法を編み出せるはずだ。
Even if he can't fully heal her, I'm sure he'll be able to find a way to get her through this alive. Oh, that's another thing I was talking about. Because I always recap the game with my sister. It made no sense that in this moment, Anku picks up her body, carries her out, thinking she's going to die, drags her to a field to die, And then they're in a field and she's in severe pain, dying. And then he shoots himself and starts to die too. And then we have a 5-minute, maybe longer conversation. And then he goes, there's the antibodies to save her. You were just told the antibodies wouldn't work. I'm so confused. How do they work now? She always goes plus ultra. Oh god, dying very slowly. One of my favorite movies when I was a kid was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and there's a scene in there when one of the vampires is dying, and he's just like, and they keep trying to have a conversation behind him, and then they like turn and look at him as he continues to die very slowly, and I'm like, bro, just die already. Even if you can't fully heal her, I'm sure I'll be able to find a way.
わかった。では、シスターサロメは私が背負おう。
That was Pee Wee Herman in that scene. I haven't watched that in a hot minute, so I believe you. I'll carry Sister Salome on my back. Come on, everybody knows. Everybody knows. It didn't matter if the citizens were screaming in despair. They decided to leave Nadia in the hands of Eves and the others who would probably come here once the toxins thinned. They carried Leah limp as a doll and Salome, who is now dead, out of the laboratory. Classic. See, they didn't even care about dead mom earlier. Their eyes were not tainted by resignation yet. Yes, even if.
空、もう何も見えないだろうが、俺たちの家に戻ってきたぞ。
I know you probably can't see very well, but we're back. Ooh, my voice. I just woke up, in my defense.
今日からこのベッドの上がお前の居場所だ。
This bed is yours for now. Even if Leah herself had already given up hope in life, Leah received medical attention from Sheen. The two of them ignored the chaos in the country and brought her back home as she struggled to breathe. Good morning! Nadia is the only best side character ever in this game, and we didn't get to see her 5 years into the future, which is very disappointing. According to him, it looks like we can keep you alive in this state as long as we take care of you.
私も冥界には戻らず、ずっとずっとここで君のことを死ぬまで守り続けよう。
Oh, they never found out who Anku is, so he's just straight up lying. I will not return to Hades. I will stay here forever and watch over you until death. Hearing their voices, Lee twitched as more Lycra's marks appeared across her skin.
君が生きてくれて。
There's a difference between being alive and surviving. Burning the country is the bad ending? Question mark? I mean, it's definitely one of the endings. Thank goodness you are alive.
もう大事な君が生きてさえいてくれれば、
Should
どん
matter a
な
little bit,
姿
Anku.
だろうが構わない。
It matters not what form you take so long as you remain alive.
ああ、今度こそ
Look, they're both blushing at the same time. This time, I promise I won't let you die. Seeing the two in a trance beside her, she opened her mouth and tried to speak with her tongue now blooming with the Lycra's mark. Instead, she just died there. Hurts. Pain. Please kill me. She pleaded to them, but they can't hear her, I'm assuming.
ダメだ。惚れた女を殺せる男が
No real man would kill the woman he loves.
告白したとき、俺はこう言ったよな。
Do you remember what I told you when I confessed to you? It's looking a little crazy, I'm just saying.
ずっと探していた。
Is this a
俺
yandere
の温か
moment?
な死に場所は
No, because he hasn't been a yandere this whole time. I've been looking a long time for a warm place where I can
呪い
die.
と数値は
That's right, he's gonna keep you forever.
と
Remember, his wish would now become reality, not in the form of a promise, but as a curse.
そうだね。 その約束を君が果たすためにも
In order for you to fulfill that
呪い
promise.
と23の年月を超えた先にある数十年後。
Oh, they're both acting a little crazy. Now they're acting like Jean, yeah. I mean, their hearts are broken. Their mom's dead. She's in like a catastrophic, like about to die state. You must become this place for him beyond the curse, beyond 23
シワだら
years.
けになった俺を見とるまでどれだけ苦しくても
She'll die and they'll keep her body for years. Like, I don't know, Lucas, or like she did with Eve's body. You know, normal stuff. No matter how much we suffer, I want you to see me grow old and gray. Girl, she's the one suffering. It's her.
絶対に死なせず俺たちが守ってやるからな。
We'll protect you together and make sure you never die. It was a curse that kept her with them forever, one that promised her a life of endless suffering. There was no photo with that one. Do I have to? Okay, I know. I think there's like another ending for their story if you go. Oh, stars. I really wish the flowchart showed you what paths you're missing. Oh man, remember when I said they were probably the same person in the very first chapter? Alright, let's see. Way to escape, that's the bad ending. Okay. I need to pick a spot where there is diversion. Kill me. Okay, so that is the first despair. This definitely gives the vibe that it's supposed to flower the other direction. The end of a cruel journey. I am so lost. I see nothing that says I have missed dialogue at this point in here, so... You can't see it. It's hiding behind my camera. There's a spot that says choices, and it's like, yes! CGs, yes! And then it says unread, which means that there's dialogue I haven't read in said choice. And none of it says I'm missing any dialogue right now. That doesn't lead anywhere. Interesting. Okay, I don't know if this is like other Atomi games. Let's find out. No. Sometimes you can do flowchart and choose a chapter and it lets you choose like the love level that you have in that one. All right, I don't know if we have to start. Oh gosh. I actually don't know how to get the salvation endings. Okay, we're gonna do this in the same order we did the actual stories, which we started with Mathis. It said it had something unread in it.
ていうか、もっと泣きわめいて嫌がるかと思ってたよ。
Oh goodness. Speaking of Gene, there he is. I don't know if I need to start it from the beginning to get the salvation endings. Did you do this on purpose? Did you purposely choose someone who had a violent past?
何を言ったって信用しないんだろう？なら、ご想像にお任せするよ。
Figure it out like you're gonna say it on yourself. As long as you tell him that he loves me before he goes, I can do whatever. Okay, that might just be the end. I don't have an answer. Oh no. I have to get the salvation endings, but I don't know how to get salvation. Oh, that didn't help. We're not sitting through that. We're gonna go home. We're gonna go home. We're gonna close the whole game because I don't want to sit through that ending credit. Okay, let me see what it means to have a salvation ending, I guess. I also don't know how to get all the other photos for Anku and Adolphe. I know apparently they have their own affection bars, which is really hard for me to keep track of, which could involve other endings. Salvation. Don't you do it. Oh no, I just put salvation and it just thinks I'm endings.
終焉のビルシュ、エラーサルベーション。
Ending, okay. Complete despair 2. How do I... But how do I unlock them? We'll get there. We're gonna figure this out as a family. The ending will unlock only after you complete Act 3. I understand that, but how do I... Recommended... Hey! We actually did the recommended route accidentally. Alright, common route. This person has way too much. Okay. Oh, I'm so confused. I give this person props because they literally tell you where to save. Oh dear. Okay, hang on. Let's just start Mathis at the beginning. That seems like the way that makes sense the most. But let's make it at the very first choice we have. That way I don't have to fast forward to that. Okay. Unless, I wonder if you can click on their names on the main menu. I'm really selfish, aren't I? I don't know. Oh, goodness. Oh, I forgot she was a maid in this story. I don't know. Oh, goodness. Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna do what it says on here. But I thought I already had everything I needed to get a good ending unlocked, so... I'm a bit relieved. As a reminder, Mathis is my least favorite character. Alright, let's see. What's funnier is she has I'm relieved more than one time. Alright, hold his hand. And then force him to stop. These are all the good choices, so I don't know if maybe it's because you have to start over? Or maybe I was on the wrong route or something. Or maybe I went too far down. Ooh, I could have gone too far into despair, that there was no way for it to go but despair. Honestly, that's probably what I did. I probably just went too far. We'll find out. We'll see if the options have like an option that's like different in the spot, and I'll know. I'll know for real. I'm so confused. I'm still confused because the way they wrote this is weird. could be wrong. I don't understand. I keep looking at this. So this person is like, save here, and then play this, and then save here, and then play this. But the way it's written, it's like, save here, say this, save here, say this, and then it tells you the different endings you're getting. So I might have just, I don't even know. I don't know.
っていうか、もっと泣きわめいて嫌がるかと思ってたよ。
I'm gonna save here. This is the wrong time to save. We're doing it anyways. Alright. Did we do it? I could hear the blade run through flesh, but I didn't feel pain anywhere in my body. I slowly opened my eyes to see where the sound was coming from. Blood was raining from above. It was warm and with the smell of iron. Blood was pouring out of Mathis's chest. His beautiful tear-stained face was twisted in pain. He pulled out the knife he stabbed into his chest without any hesitation. I looked on in a stupor, not knowing what happened. The thick smell of iron was suffocating. I quickly came to my senses, seeing Mathis spit blood out as he held his chest. Mathis, blood? We need to stop the bleeding. I tore apart some of his clothes to cover the wound, but blood kept pouring out. The fabric quickly turned red. Mathis is like the shy Sherlock character. I avoided my heart, so it shouldn't be critical. Never mind me, you're way more injured than I am. I was wounded all over, and I tried to escape from him all through the night. The sight of me covered in bruises, cuts, and blood brought Mathis on the verge of tears. Most of my bleeding was from... Leah, your right leg. Don't tell me I made it impossible for you to walk again. It's alright. It hurt at first, but I was prepared for anything. See, look carefully. It's not as bad as it seems. I think it's just torn. I'm fine. I know you didn't. You did what you could to try and save me, Mathis. Doesn't change the fact that I hurt you. I've caused you so much suffering. I'm sorry. I poked Mathis's cheek with my finger still covered in blood. But what are you... I kept poking him on the cheek. I did it once, over and over again until in this horrifying laboratory. Hey, what are we doing? I finally came back and you're still trying to apologize? Isn't there something else you have to tell me? Snap out of it. I'm back, Leah, my dear precious death. Welcome back, Mathis. Mathis.
Hi.
Yes. Mathis. Oh, that's not. Yes. You really are Mathis, aren't you? She is covered in blood. Lying on the ground. Covered in bruises and cuts and stab marks. And this is what's happening right now. The person you love is right here. I'm sorry for worrying you. You're apologizing again. He hugged me gently, and I wrapped my arms around his back as tightly as I could. I kept repeating his name as I took in his warmth. Before long, the pain etched into my body disappeared completely. Why? Did you die?
急いで屋敷を出ましょう。きっともうすぐジャンが様子を見に来ます。
Let's hurry and leave the mansion. I'm sure Jean will come down and check on us any minute.
今の僕たちはろくに抵抗もできませんから。その前にここを脱出しないと。
Can't fight him off in this state, so we need to escape while we still...
ありえない
Impossible. Camille had ran into the room and quickly went pale upon seeing Mathis.
殺人犯が愛を語っているようには見えないな。
This doesn't look like a murderer confessing his love.
なら、お前は誰だ
Who are you?
誰？それをあなたが聞くんですか？
Are you seriously asking? Mathis looked right into Camille's eyes as he endured the pain.
僕はマティス。
I'm Mathis.
哀れな名門の子供でも敵討ちを望む弟でもない。
I'm not a son of some noble family, and I'm not a younger brother seeking revenge.
素敵な死神を愛することでやっと自分でオリジナルになれた。
I finally became my own
マティス・
self
クロードだ。
by loving the beautiful goddess of death. I am Mathis Cloud. The name is noble. Oh, Camille's eyes widened with disbelief as he slowly walked towards Mathis. That was pretty big strides for slowly.
そんな冒険譚みたいな奇跡や救い、この実験にはいらないんだよ。
I didn't ask for some damn salvation. Ooh, salvation, he said it. Miracle from a fairy tale in my experiment.
作り上げた偽の記憶を事故とした状態で恋愛感情を持たなきゃ意味がないんだ。
All you were supposed to do is find a way to feel love with the false memories I implanted in you. That's it.
これじゃロザリーを蘇らせても
I can't revive Rosalie if you're like this.
彼女は自分をロザリーだと認識できず最悪別人になって他の男を愛する可能性
She won't be able to recognize herself as Rosalie. Worse, she might turn into someone else and fall in love with some other guy. The image of that must have flashed in his mind. His breathing was getting heavier by the second.
あと少しで
Just a little longer.
俺の愛するロザリーが俺を愛するロザリーが
My darling Rosalie, the Rosalie who loves me.
あの頃の記憶と感情で蘇るはずだったのに
She was this close to returning with her memories and emotions. Are we feeling bad for Jean, guys? You're covered in blood, bro. I wonder why. The man in front of us treated me cruelly over and over again, but the sight of him clinging onto the tank with his lost love inside was terribly sad. Could be sad and a monster at the same time.
構築した記憶データの中に破損していたものが
Where did I go wrong? Was there some corrupt data in the memories I put together?
ああ、そうだ。何もこれで全てが終わったわけじゃない。
That's right. It's not like everything is over yet.
すぐにでも協力者たちとこの出来損ないの代わりになる実験体を
I need to contact my supporter right away and create a new test subject to replace this failure.
カミーユ、
Camille. Mathis calmly tried to reason with him.
もう無理だよ。本当はあなただって
It's no
うっ
use.
すら気づいてるんでしょ。
You've known for a long time, haven't you? Mathis was a homunculus created by Camille. Camille's only success, who took strenuous effort and time and energy to create. It was a tragedy he experienced had been in another country. If the tragedy he experienced had been in another country, he would have had years, if not decades. He could have continued his research to resurrect his lost love. But this country was Arpachel, the land possessed by death. Camille had vowed not to become a reliver in order to show his true love for Rosalie. What that meant was he didn't have enough time to redo his research. It was as if the relationship between Jean and Mathis, who used to be depressed and prone to mad outbursts, had become reversed. Camille, in a near-complete frenzy, suddenly started punching the tank with Rosalie inside. Of course, no amount of force would wake her from death. Shut up.
ふざけるなよお前みたいな出来損ないのホムンクルス
Damn it, you damned failure of a homunculus.
ロザリーを差し置いて
What a, like,
唯一の愛と自我を得るなんて
insult. Like, I just feel like homunculus should be what we call everybody these days. How dare you abandon Rosalie and pursue your own love?
そんな敗北
I won't accept this.
まだ間に合う彼女のためなら俺だって奇跡を起こせるはずなんだ
I still have time. I know I have what it takes to create a miracle for her. Seeing Camille scream madly.
ねえ、カミーユ、
Say, Camille,
その奇跡って本当に必要なの？
is this miracle something you really need? Mathis quietly posed his question to him as he looked at Rosalie sleeping in peace.
なんだと
What?
どうして僕のような自我がロザリーさん、いえ、ロザリーに芽生えることが許せないの？
Why isn't my personality good enough to be used for Rosalie?
そんなの
It's because
うん。カミーユのことを愛さない可能性が高いから。
I
かも
bet
ね。
it's because there's a chance she won't fall in love with you, right?
でもそれって言い方を変えれば
But if you look at it from a different angle,
自分を愛してくれないロザリーを
if Rosalie doesn't end up loving
自
you,
分もまた愛せない
you wouldn't love her in return.
命としての存在価値がないって断じてるも同然じゃないの？
Isn't that the same as saying there's no value in her life itself?
それってすごく悲しい考え方だと思うんだ。
If so, that's a very sad way of thinking. Camille's body shook at the question, and Mathis continued speaking without mercy.
あなたは幸せだった頃の望むままのロザリーしか認められないようだけど
You conducted your experiment so that you could revive Rosalie back to when she loved you.
彼女にとってカミーユとの日々だけが人生の全てだったわけじゃない。
But her life wasn't just about being with you, right, Camille?
カミーユと出会う前のまだ誰も愛していない彼女だって確かにロザリーだったんだ。
Before she met you, before she found love, she was her own Rosalie.
あなたはその当時のロザリーを愛せないの？
So can't you love Rosalie for who she was before she met you? Are you saying you love him, Mathis? I'm confused.
そんなへりくつ
Stop with that bullshit.
へりくつなんかじゃないよ。あなたはどう考えても間違ってる。
I'm only trying to reason with you. You're wrong in every respect right now. As if trying to make his point despite my being covered in blood and sweat, Mathis tugged me close to him. Mathis?
この人が僕に言ってくれたように愛するなら全てのロザリーを愛してあげてよ。
Just like with me and Leah, you have to be prepared to love everything about Rosalie.
今のカミーユは
Camille?
過去にすがりついてばっかりでそこに眠るロザリーのことをまるで見ていない。
You're just trying to cling to a past long gone. You're not looking at the Rosalie asleep in there.
新しい彼女に恋をする自信がなかっただけだ。
You're not confident that you can still love the new her.
さっきだって培養器を思いっきり殴ったりして
Punching the tank with her inside is proof of how wrong you are. Mic drop, I don't know. Inside the cold, wet flower garden, perhaps it was from the slamming earlier. The woman's white, bloodless lips seemingly frowned with sorrow.
バカな。そんなことがあってたまるか。
Don't tell me that a dead body frowned. It can't be. I'm not
俺の
wrong.
命はロザリーのためにある。お前に言われなくても、ここにいる彼女のことだっていつも思って。
My life is for Rosalie and her alone. You don't have to tell me that I should love her regardless.
だったら今すぐ
Then do it now.
そこからロザリーを取り出し、愛していると告げてみろ。口づけをしてみせろ。
Mathis, that's a dead body. Don't tell him to do that. That's not good. Take Rosalie out of there and tell her that you love her. Kiss her and show her your love.
感情も返事もないの。すべて覚悟の上で。
But you have to be prepared to accept that she won't reciprocate those feelings. Dare him? I dare you.
できない
God.
でしょ。
You can't, can you? I see. You're so used to using others as tools for yourself that you can't love the real Rosalie anymore. You can only see her as an unfinished version of herself.
僕の記憶の中に残る昔のカミーユだったら
The Camille I knew in my memories.
迷わずそこにいる彼女に愛も口づけも捧げることができたはずなのに
He'd be able to show his love and kiss her without hesitation. This story is dragging. Like, what? We're just saying the same thing over and over again. What made him change so much to make him this? The person in Mathis' memory isn't real. That's what happened. What are you talking about? Mathis didn't have the strength left in him to ask past that question. You're talking to a man who's murdered no, not 100. A bunch of prostitutes. Camille slowly looked at the tank next to him. Inside was Rosalie, sound asleep, no different from before, though there was a part of me that felt like she looked much sadder than yesterday. That's just you projecting. Camille seemed to notice the same thing. He quickly cradled and shook his head as if to deny what he was seeing.
違う
No.
俺はロザリーを道具だなんて思っていない
I've never seen Rosalie as a tool before.
俺は
I just... Go on.
男の子かな女の子かな名前はどうしようか
I wonder if it's a boy or girl.
楽しみだな
I can't wait to name our child.
せっかちね
As long as the baby's born
でもさ、
healthy.
リライバーにならない俺たちは数年後にはこの子を残して死ぬだろ
You know we're gonna leave our child behind a few years from now because we're not gonna become relivers,
親
right?
父たちがいるとはいえきっと寂しい思いをさせるだろうな
My parents are going to be around, but still our child would probably be lonely.
なら来世で生まれ変わってまた夫婦になって
Then our souls can reincarnate and be together again.
大人になったこの子に一緒に会いに行きましょうよ
We can go and see our child once they're grown up.
あなたがどんな姿になってもきっと見つけてみせる
I'm sure they'll be able to know who you are no matter your appearance.
私あなたとなら何度だって恋に落ちられる自信があるわ
As for me, I'm confident that I'll fall in love with you again and again.
そんなの俺だって
I feel the same way.
あの笑顔もう一度見たかっただけなんだ
This really just sounds like you should have, I don't know, done that thing that the MC did at the very beginning, and then you would have saved everyone this trouble. Her smile, just wanted to see her smile again.
記憶と思いがあの頃のまま通じてなければ
Her memories and emotions, they have to stay the same, or else
生まれる
I
はずだった子供の名前を
won't be able to think,
一緒に考えることもできない
or else I won't be able to think with her and come up with a name for our child. He clung to the glass casket where Rosalie slept.
卑怯でも残酷でも好きに言えよどう言われたって構わない
Call me a coward, call me ruthless all you want, I really don't care.
どうしようもないじゃないか。
It's not like I can stop myself
い
anyway.
くらでも残酷になれるほど、あいつらのことを愛しているんだから。
My love for them is what drives me to be as ruthless as possible. No matter his excuses, he was still a criminal. A mass murdering criminal. He had killed countless people with the promise of delivering them to a better place, only to deliver them to their death instead. Punishment for what he had done was unavoidable. But perhaps in some way he might reach some kind of salvation as well. Ooh,
カ
why?
ミーユ、あ
Camille.
なたは取り返しのつかないことをした。でも、まだやり直せる。
You've done something terrible that can't be undone. You can still redeem yourself.
だってあなたはまだ生きているんだから。
After all, you're still alive.
罪を償って。そうしたら、
Repent and pay for your sins.
僕の中に残る記憶と協力して、ロザリーさんたちがいた証をこの国に残そうよ。
I'll do what I can with the memories inside me to leave a legacy for Rosalie and your child as proof they existed.
小説でも絵本でも写真でも何でもいいから、
Rather in a form of a novel, a child's book, or a
僕
photograph.
たち二人が揃っていれば、彼女が生きた記憶をすべて拾い上げられるはず。
As long as we're together, we can find a way to preserve the memory of her life. He then extended his hand to his brother,
マティス、
Mathis. He looked back and forth between his younger brother's face and the hand offered to him. He hesitated for a moment before coming to his decision. He then reached out and accepted it. Suddenly, the sound of an explosion rocked the
爆発。
lab.
それもこの地下室のさらに下で。
Does Liam destroy the world in all the Salvation endings? An explosion. It felt like it came from below? Does that mean a huge crack appeared below the equipment and the entire place began to crumble? Mathis held me in his arms, shielding me from the debris falling from the ceiling. Where's Camille? This is a weird turn since this didn't happen in the previous story. The person with whom we were finally able to discuss a new future was...
ああ、俺ってば相変わらず運がねえの。
Looks like I'm out of luck again. Through a small opening, we could see that we were separated by a wall of rubble that had formed between us.
カミー
Where did the explosion come
多
from?
分俺の協力者たちの仕業だ。
I think it came from my supporter.
この研究室のさらに下には、連中との取引やデータの受け渡しに使ってた隠し通路があるんだよ。
There's a hidden tunnel beneath the
そこが
lab
爆破されたんだ。
where we met for deals to exchange data. I bet that's where it's
俺
hidden.
が捕まったら、連中も巻き添えだからな。要は、口封じのためだろ。
If I'm arrested, it'll mean trouble for them. Looks like they're covering their tracks. How did they know you were having this heartfelt moment upstairs?
だったらなおさら早く出なくちゃ。
You need to hurry and get out of there. Mathis tried to get his hands through the small opening in the wall of rubble, but there was unable to shift it.
そこにいるのか。
Lee, are you there?
あそこだよ、アドルフ。あの亀裂の下から声が
Because
聞こえ
Eves
た。
can hear me no matter where I'm at because we're soulmates. She's down there, Adolph. I heard her voice coming from below. Adolph? Eves? From a distance, I could hear their voices approaching. It seemed like they would arrive at any moment.
何してるんだカミーユ。あなたも早くこっちへ。
What are you doing, Camille? We need to get yourself out of there. The others should be here soon. I'm sure we can save you once they get here, so don't give up.
バーカ。俺が行くわけないだろ。
Can't say baka like that. You're not Killua. Are you stupid? Like I'd go with you guys? Huh? Wants to stay with his love.
ここで俺が逃げたら、
If I escape
動け
now,
ないロザリーが、一人ぼっちで 死んじまうだろ。
Rosalie's going to be left to die all alone. Let Camille die. It's his one last wish. Watch out! The ceiling shook with force and came crashing towards Mathis. I reached out to grab Mathis's arm and somehow pulled him towards me in time. Even more rubble fell from above us. The wall of debris was thick now, and we could barely even see Camille.
早くお願いだから一緒に逃げよう
Hurry, please!
ユリさん
Let's get out of here together, brother. But
うるさいな。とっとと行けよ。出来
oh,
損ない。
man. He doesn't mean that. He's just saying that so you'll go. Just go to get the hell out of here already, you failure. You refused our pleas for help to
お前
escape.
は俺の弟じゃないって何度も言ったよな。
How many times have I told you that you're not my brother?
お前だって俺の正体を知ってからは呼び捨てにしてたくせに今さら弟ずらして一緒に逃げようだなんて。
Better idea. Burn her body right in front of him and let him live forever alone. He's gonna die soon. He's very close to 23. Even if you don't kill him, he's gonna die soon. You didn't even call me brother after you learned my real identity. Some little brother you
都合
are.
が良すぎるんだよ。化け物同士仲良く死神と早く失せな。
You're so damn idealistic. Just hurry out of here so that you two monsters can die together. I couldn't see Camille's expression from where I was. All I could do was bite down on my lip as he said such heartless words.
確かに僕はあなたの本当の弟じゃない
I might not be your real brother, but
でもマティスとジャンとして
the days we spent
共に過ご
together
したあの日々は
as Mathis and Jean,
僕は間違いなく兄弟としての思い出だったって
those days were real, and I'll always think of you as my brothers. The time they spent together and the words they exchanged brought back memories of their peaceful days together. While their relationships may have been based on an illusion, was every moment really a lie? On some level, it had to be real.
俺は一度もそんなこと思ったことなんてない。
I never once saw us as brothers, not once. I still couldn't see Camille's expression, but the voice I could hear was gentle and caring.
早く行けって。このままだと愛しい死神まで巻き込むことになる。
Hurry up, will ya? Keep this up and you'll lose your beloved death too.
でも
But
くどい。
damn it! Ooh.
いつまでも俺に甘えるな、マティス・クロード。お前が今守るべきなのは。
Stop relying on me already, Mathis. Who do you really need to protect
これ
now?
から共に未来を歩む生涯の伴侶だろうが。
It's the person you're gonna be with for the rest of your life.
違うか。俺みたいな亡霊の方が大事なんて言い出したら、どんな手段を使っても殺すぞ。
Don't you get it? If you think I'm more important, I swear I'll find a way to kill you. Mathis held his breath upon hearing Camille's yelling. Here's the thing, though. Mathis has anxiety. You can't yell at him. He devolves. He held back the pain he was feeling, then took a few seconds to calm himself.
行きましょう僕が体を
For
支えます
once you agree with Camille, the prostitute murderer who made a homunculus. Let's go, Leah. I'll hold you up, okay? Are you
兄
sure?
さんの言うことは
Dude.
正しいですから
What my brother says is always
そ
right.
れに最後ぐらいは兄さんとジャンのこと
I don't want to burden my
困
brother
らせたくないかなって
Jean more than I already have. Yeah, we're gonna die. The laboratory released its final scream. The ceiling, the walls, the floor, everything inside began to collapse in an attempt to crush those who remained. Before we left, Mathis turned around and said,
ありがとう兄さん
Thank you, brother.
僕をこの世界に産んでくれて
Thank you for bringing me into this world. That honestly makes him your dad. Like, sir, you and my girl still down here about to die. Y'all talk about live, then leave and survive, damn
彼
it.
女に出会わせてくれてありがとう
Thank you for bringing me to her. And with that, we made our way out to the surface. The crumbling debris was a depressing sight to behold. The painstaking crafted laboratory, along with the equipment therein, was in ruins. The tank holding Rosalie had shattered to pieces, strewn around Camille's feet. Rosalie's body lay on the floor with closed eyes that would never open again. He hadn't touched her in so long, he only now noticed how cold she was. He lifted her cold body into his arms. Camille embraced her tightly, so as to not let her go.
冷て
You're freezing.
当たり前か。ずっと俺がここに閉じ込めてたもんな。
I kept you locked in there for
こん
ages.
な悪い顔色じゃ、せっかくのドレスも似合わない。
Your complexion's so pale that it doesn't match your dress anymore. He asked if she would forgive him for ruining their wedding day.
本当にごめんな。
She was murdered before the wedding day. How did he ruin it? I'm really
詫びは
sorry.
これで
This is the best I can do
勘
for you
弁し
right
てくれ。
now. Honestly, this is just the crow, but if the guy, instead of going after revenge, well, actually, he did kill the person, I think, went a little further past revenge and then tried to bring her back instead of just getting deaded. He held her back up with his hand and lay a kiss on her cold lips, a kiss showing his vow of everlasting love, which he couldn't have done without Mathis unlocking his heart. Rosalie didn't say a word, nor did she smile. Still, he was finally able to reunite with her. Time finally began to move again. The time between Camille and his beloved in the present day after she had watched him for so long from inside the clear water.
にしてもやっぱ腹の中身は
What's
スカ
this?
スカか。
Your belly's gotten smaller.
そりゃそうだよな。
What am I saying?
ここで君と共に死んだ。俺と君の子になるはずだった赤ん坊と、
When you died long ago, you
その細胞、
brought our baby with you except for
俺が開いて取っちゃったからな。
the cells I extracted from there. What?
そうだ、カミーユ。もしも赤ちゃんが男の子だったら、私つけたい名前があるの。
What if it's Mathis? Alright, before I forgot, Camille, I finally thought of a name for our baby if he's a boy.
あのね、神様からの贈り物って意味で。
You see, it means gift of God in another country.
マティスっていう俺によく似たホムンクルスを作るための
I
材
needed
料にするために
those cells to create a homonucleus that looked like me. I named him Mathis.
何が兄さんだよ。
I
大
did.
外れだ。
I said it.
同時マティス。
Brother my ass. You never had a clue, Mathis.
なあ、ロザリー。
Say, Rosalie.
俺たちのもう一人の息子はさ、
I
ろ
wasn't
くに子育てもしてないのに、
able to do the best job at raising our son,
愛
but
する女の子に何度だって恋ができる。
turns out he's able to fall in love with the same girl over and
俺な
over.
んかよりずっと
He became a
立
much
派な男になったぞ。
better man than I ever was. Don't worry, I knew he was your son. You made him. That's how that works. Is it me? The moon was shining brightly. We were at a secluded part of the shore, sitting next to each other, feeling each other's warmth through our hands. Okay, that sounded gross. Adolphe and Yves quickly came to the rescue just before the mansion collapsed. The two came searching for me, thinking that I was at the Clyde mansion. Apparently, a certain man told Yves during his investigation that I was there.
私が何者かって？そんなことを聞いている暇があったら、とく早く向かいたまえ。
Who am I, you ask? I suggest you hurry over there rather than waste your time with me.
彼女のことを よろしく頼むよ。
Please take care of her. They said he also helped break open the locked mansion with a peculiar weapon. Was it a gun? He then suddenly vanished as though he was never there. From their description, I was quite certain the man was the Watchman of Death, Anku. I should thank him the next time I see him. It sounded like he was looking for me too. After our rescue, when Adolphe and Eve saw the extent of our injuries, they wanted us to go to the hospital immediately, but we were only shook our heads. Camille and his laboratory were now buried under the rubble and debris. We refused to go to the hospital. She's got an injury. Which meant that Mathis would no longer be able to extend his life like before. For all I knew, the Mathis next to me would probably disappear and die within the next few hours. He told me he wanted to spend his final hours with me. Seeing his gentle smile, no one could tell him otherwise. Oh. They look like they're sharing stories. They're just sitting out here in the sunlight gossiping. That's cute.
この数日で、いろいろなことがあったね。
So many things happened in just a few days. She really shouldn't be sitting like that with the injury to her leg. You're right. They were days I would never forget because of trauma. The warm, loving times we spent together with each new Mathis he became. The days were also nightmarish, but even those memories were precious to me now because of trauma. After all, I love every Mathis that appeared. Say, what kind of person are you now?
さあ、どうだろう。
Who knows? I could hear the data inside Mathis's head screeching in their final moments.
最初の僕と近いけれど、少し違う気もします。
I think I'm similar to the first me, but not
自
entirely.
分でもよくわからない。なんだか、ふわふわとした。
I really don't know myself. Everything just feels weird and hazy. The data continued to screech. His sleepy demeanor and the words that he spoke intermediately. Every word and action was a sign that his mind was slowly beginning to deteriorate. We knew this was going to happen and accepted it, wanting to spend those last moments together.
小説、完成しなかった。
The novel, it's not done yet, is it? Yes, it ended just like things were getting good. It ended just when things were getting good.
でも、大丈夫。
Yeah, but it's okay.
もともと、僕、最初から書き直す予定だったし。
Originally, I was planning on rewriting everything from beginning. I bit down on my lips so that I could hold back the tears from surfacing in my eyes. If I cried now, I knew I would break down sobbing. I wouldn't be able to hear his last words.
義は恋愛小説書きません。
We'll write story.
寂しがり屋の死神
Lonely death. And
人に作られたホムンクルスの
bit on the nose, I think.
男が
Artificial life homunculus man.
恋をして結ばれて結婚式を
Fall in
挙げる
love. Bonds.
までの
Wedding.
お話
Story. That'd be wonderful. I'm sure plenty of people would love those characters. Are you sleepy?
そろそろ限界 みたいだ。
Yeah, my time is almost up.
ねえ、
Say, Leah.
僕は、きっと、兄さんが、作り出したんじゃ
I
なく
probably,
て、
brother, didn't make
あ
me.
なたと、出会うために、彼のもとに、魂が、たどり着いたんだと
My soul found him
思う。
so that I could meet you. He pulled me gently towards him. His skin felt so warm. I could tell his strength was slipping
そ
away.
れは、これからもきっと
That won't
変わ
ever
らない。
change. So light slowly began to fade from his eyes.
僕はまた、君に恋するために
I will come back to love you.
生まれてくる。
Promise. I'll be waiting. I strained my voice so that it would reach Mathis as he fell asleep. Never forget that I'll be waiting for you so we can write a story together again. He whispered a quiet thank
俺
you.
に勇気を与えてくれて
Thank you for giving me
ありがとう。
courage.
すべての私を愛してくれて
Man, he dies slow. Thank you for loving me for who I am. We couldn't say farewell. You just said that like 3 times. Instead, we would say this.
また
Until
いつか
we meet again. I thought he was falling asleep. I'm so confused. Ah, it glitched though. Is that a sign? Is there no good? There's no good endings. They're all just fake. They're all fabricated.
永遠に今誓います
I actually cried a little. I honestly was tearing up last night a little bit during Anku's long speech, but then it just kept going. And I was like, God, stop now. You said enough. Less is more.
分かち合い
I feel bad for his because like
許し合
he
い
did nothing wrong.
ここにいる
And get ready because there's gonna be 4 more or 3 more. They could all end up sad. My steps. Not a step stool, it's a leg rest.
あなたと明日を生き
Pure white salvation.
ささやかな微笑み何気ないあなたの仕草
Well, Sheen's ending was her dying, basically. So I could see his still having a good ending. Eve's, I'm assuming, is going to end up in the field of flowers. Like, remember all the times we cried? This is what's happening right now. Remember when we were sad?
私たちの愛を共にリコーダスに捧ぐ
Remember when we murdered you? I really love that Sheen crying CG. Oh, I'm trying to remember that's the one I used for the screenshot. No, I don't. I think I try to avoid using the last scene ones because I feel like it's a spoiler. I don't know. There's an after story. A few months later.
盗んだ記憶データによる人工的な記憶の構築。妊婦から細胞を得て生成したホムンクルス。
The homunculus was created using cells from a pregnant woman into which the stolen memory data was
協力者
installed.
がいたとはいえ、よく素人が独学でここまで発展させたものだ。
Even with supporters, it's impressive that a novice with no scientific background managed to get that far.
シアンさん、お疲れ様です。
Sheen, good to see you.
うちの班の実験が終わったので、午後からはバリバリビシビシ、共同研究と実験に参加できますよ。
Dot. You mean Liam? Call him by his real name. My team's experiments are done, so I'm ready to join you with your research starting now.
ってあれ？それって、カミーユさんが起こした事件のデータです？
Isn't that the data from the incident Camille Cloud case?
ああ。違法の研究設備も絡んでいるからな。俺の方に後処理が回ってきた。
Yeah, since it involves the illegal use of research equipment, it came to me for further investigation. An explosion occurred at the Clyde mansion in Chatus. Sheen wasn't involved in the incident, but he heard what happened. The only one presumed dead was the Clyde family butler, Jean. No, the person who was dead was the true heir of the Clyde family and the person behind the missing prostitutes. The deliverer, Camille Cloud. It seemed I have a hair on me, but it feels like a bug, so it made me really nervous for just a second there. It seems he was somewhere under the rubble with his lover, but he hadn't been found
ま
yet.
ったく、一体どこの誰だ？
What a pain.
俺が当の昔に廃棄した研究を解約して奴に吹き込んだのは。
Who corrupted the research I discarded long ago and gave it to him? His independent investigation revealed the identity of one of the supporters, but instead of arresting them, Sheen decided to let that person run free until the time was ripe. But one remained elusive. There was no way that Camille could have achieved such great results with the help of just one person. Sheen's hunch was,
研究所の中にネズミがいるな。
there's a rat in the institute. Camille's goal and sentiments were of no interest to Sheen, but he was quite perturbed that someone had used his past work without his permission. To add, the camera he asked to have returned was still missing. He suspected this rat also supplied him with the camera. In any case, he had plans to comb through the institute until he found them. This would be better if we got this before other routes. Oh, you mean because of the vagueness of it, so it's not really spoiling anything? Imagine if we had this ending and now I have to remember what happened in his story because I've already played 50 more hours of games since then. Sheen cracked his neck with disgust, thinking that he might have to resort to using Korun. Thinking Sheen's behavior was his usual lack of interest to Hot promptly took the monitor away.
そういえばこれって、カミーユさんなりの贖罪だったんですかね。
When you think of it, maybe this incident was Camille's way of showing repentance.
研究室が崩壊する直前、うちの研究所まで
Just before his laboratory was destroyed.
わざわざ彼の記憶データと遺伝子のバックアップを送ってくるなんて。
He did go through the trouble of sending his memory data and genes here so they could be backed up.
知らん。死者の思考なんて答えの出しようがないもの。考えるだけ時間の無駄だ。
Like a care, it's a waste of time thinking about what he was thinking now that he's dead.
もう、感傷に浸らせてくれないんですから。
Not even a single teardrop for him?
それで、シアンさんは彼の遺言。
So what now, Sheen? You read his will, right?
っていうか、懇願を読んで、その通りに彼を保護してあげたんですか？
Did you read his plea to secure him like he asked?
まさか珍しい検体だからって、怖い人体実験に利用していたり。
Or maybe you've got some spooky plans ready since he's a rare test subject.
実験に使うのなら自分で作って消費する方が早い。
If I wanted, I'd just make one myself since it'd be
さ
faster.
らっと恐ろしいことを。まあ、ホムンクルスって人間やリライバーよりか弱いだけの生物ですからね。
You certainly spooked me. I guess a homunculus is a lot weaker than humans or relivers.
あれっていうことは彼、今頃、
So what did you do with him?
特に使い道はないからな。リライバーとして作り直した後、放り出しておいた。
He's of no use to me. I made him into a reliver and kicked him out of this
はい
place.
それじゃあ、どの記憶をベースにリライバーになったのか、謎だらけじゃないですか。
Excuse me? Doesn't that mean he has some unknown memory downloaded into his reliver body?
今頃途方に暮れてるか、迷子になってますよ。警備兵を連れて探しに行ってあげないと。
He's probably lost somewhere right this moment. I better grab the guards and find him.
あと、無事にリライバー化が終わったのなら、まず彼女に報告してあげてください。
If you did successfully make him into a reliver, you should let her know. The hot puffed his cheeks out with frustration as he fiddled with the system screen. Where would he go? Wait, he's alive. You cried for nothing. And done. I lowered the cart of vegetables in front of one of the food stands. The owner was looking at me with anxiety, but regardless, I bowed and headed off to deliver the next bunch of vegetables. Not caring about how they look at me sure makes a difference. Still, at this rate, it's going to take me forever to make enough money to become a reliver. It's not only money, I have to mature a bit more before Mathis returns. How'd you know? Please pretend like I didn't cry. It had been a few months since then. I was still working at the orphanage, but I also had another job. I began work here at the marché, helping with deliveries and stocking inventories. The reason I was doing 2 jobs was simple. I wanted to make enough money to become a reliver. Back then, I didn't think I had the right to live longer since I was death, but if I accepted my death, I wouldn't be able to live with Mathis, who was undergoing the process of becoming a reliver. With his controller Camille dead, he was unable to have new memories downloaded. What that meant was Mathis would die once the memories in his brain crashed, but just before the mansion collapsed, and just before Camille died, Camille transferred the data required for Mathis to become a reliver and also confessed his crimes to the Institute. The moment they learned Mathis was actually a homunculus, which was a banned existence, she appeared, take him back to the Institute. That's what it said. I know I usually say things wrong, but it was how it was written. They quickly froze his body before his brain would corrupt further. From what I understood, they were currently reviewing his data so that he could become a reliver. As for me, upon hearing that report, I had been doing all I could to be with Mathis one day so we could spend our days in love. I decided to work to become a reliver. That said, I only made that choice recently and hadn't really told anyone my idea. But this also meant that I was going to break the contract with Anku, which would make me a normal human.
そうか。
I see.
君は一つの真実を暴いたのだし、十分に報酬を受け取る権利があると思ったのだが。
I would have fulfilled my end of the deal seeing how well you did to uncover one of the truths, but I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, especially after everything you've done for me.
リライバーになれば、君が何より大切にしている彼への愛が消えてしまうのだよ。
Let me remind you that should you become a reliver, you will lose your precious love you feel for him. That's all right. After all, I'm confident that I'll be able to fall in love with him again.
そうか。それが姫君の願いなら、死の万人は付き従うのみ。
I see. If that is the princess's wish, the watchman of death will obey her desires.
だが、せめてささやかな贈り物ぐらいは受け取ってほしい。
With that, I would like you to accept my simple gift to you. Is this candy?
艶やかな赤が美しいだろう。実はこれは 私の血から作り出したものでね。
Isn't it a lovely shade of crimson? Truthfully, I made it with my own blood. Yummy! Blood candy! What?
というのは冗談で、ごくごく普通の菓子だと思う。
I jest. It's of an ordinary confection.
冥界から持ってきたものでもないので、どうか安心して食してくれ。
I did not bring it from Hades, so me enjoy it without worry. Thank you very much. Anku, if you didn't stop me from committing suicide that day, I would never have been able to meet Mathis. Thank you so very much. I'll never forget what you've done for me.
それは、こちらのセリフだよ。
I should say the same to you, dear
どう
princess.
か君の行く道に、少しでも多くの幸があらんことを。
I wish for your path to bring you as much happiness as possible.
と、死の番人が願ったところで、不吉なだけかな。
Or perhaps a blessing from the watchman is more of a curse. With the vegetable deliveries complete, I decided to head back to the orphanage, looking at the stores along the way. I really let Anku down. I remembered the look on his face back then, which made my heart ache. I couldn't choose a path where Mathis and I would be apart, even if Mathis returned without the love he felt for me. No, that wasn't all. Mathis's memory was made by combining memory data from multiple sources, so he was already worn beyond belief from repeating experiments. In other words, his backup data was already in a less than desirable state. The prospect of downloading such data into his clone body was somewhat bleak. After all, the odds of his memories transferring properly was close to zero, meaning that he might remember me or he might not. There was even a chance that his personality would be completely different too. But I'm ready for anything. Even if the bonds that connected us was lost, I was sure a sudden gust of wind blew somewhere in the midst of the crowd. I saw something beautiful and silver shining brightly under the sun. Excuse me? Look, he's got a reliver mark. And somehow he found the same exact outfit. I forget that relivers are reborn and complete. Wow, that's beautiful. Oh, he's got the eyes. I wasn't even thinking about that. It's so cute. He grabbed my wrist as we crossed paths. The warmth flowing from my wrist was the only person in this world who dedicated his love to me. Not the only. The weaver of our story of love. I gasped when I saw his face. He wore an urgent but confused expression. He shook his head, probably because he thought that I saw him as a stranger.
突然ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
知らない男に手をつかまれるなんて怖がらせちゃいましたよね。
I guess anyone would be scared if a guy they didn't know suddenly grabbed your wrist. I forgot what was his eye color before he became... His eye color was the same. It's the pupils. The black of his eyes turned into turquoise. That's how you can tell if they're relivers. Here, I'll show you an example. Na. Be like, not a reliver. Hang on, where's Mama? I know I have something there. Both of them will have the eyes, the turquoise in their eyes, because they're relivers. But if you're not a reliver, you just have normal eyeballs. I don't think I've seen Mathis recently enough to take a screenshot of him. When's the last time I took a photo of Mathis? That's Eve's story. There's Sheen with a shirt off. Quite a few screenshots of that. Lucas still. Oh, there's a good one. 639 screenshots. I screenshot. There's his pupils being black. Listen, I didn't show that for you to attack me. I screenshot everything that looks important to me.
けど僕あなたのことを見た瞬間
I have a 536 gigabyte memory card. I can take some screenshots. The moment I saw you,
なぜか胸からいろんな感情が溢れ出して、
for some reason, my chest was overflowing with all kinds of
目
emotion.
をそらせなくなってしまったんです。
I just couldn't take my eyes off you.
とっても可愛いな。
You're really cute. So
守ってあげたいな。
I want to protect you.
今度こそ最後まで一緒にいたいな。
Whoa! You just said you didn't know me, my guy. This time I want to be with you until the very end.
つまり、その
What I'm trying to say is,
一目惚れをしてしまいました。
I fell in love with you at first sight. Those memorable words mark the beginning of our new story. Seeing my eyes wet with tears, he blushed, but more than anything, he looked
恋
happy.
をたやすく忘れてしまうリライバーの身ではありますが、
I was about to say that he fell in love at first sight. But how does he? He's like, I'm going to protect you this time. Whoa, if you're saying we just met, then I feel like maybe you shouldn't say that. I might be a reliver who easily forgets love, but
もし
If-
嫌でなければ、
if you don't mind,
どうか僕と素敵な恋をしてくれませんか？
would you be willing to fall in love with me? He had kept his promise. I felt like every Mathis I met before was telling me so with a smile. If so, there was only one answer. I gave him the brightest smile to make sure that they all knew. Yes, gladly. Look, he's got a cute tattoo now. I think you'll like him more. I will fall in love with you as many times as it takes. Did we do it? Did we get all the pictures? Have I completed Mathis's story? Can I close his book?
なんだか不思議です。ずっと前から
It's kind of strange. I feel like I've been looking at you for a long time. I'm a reliver, so I might forget this love in the
僕は
future.
リライバーだから、これから先恋を忘れてし
I'm
まうかもし
absolutely
れ
sure
ない。
I'll fall in love with you over and over again. I will always love
で
you
も
forever.
絶対に何度でもあなたを好きになれるって確信があります。
All right, let's see. Let's see. Do we have all his pictures now? 18 out of 18. We did it. We got all the pictures. Perfect, perfect, perfect. The other thing too, so I don't take the screenshots, I'll never see these photos again because I don't put the games back in. All right, so next we're going to go do Lucas's story and then we'll go to Sheen if we have time. We'll see. I got like 3 showers. Let's see if I go to flowchart. Let's see if I can cheat this. Let's see. Oh my goodness. This is just proof of how easy it is for me to die in his routes. Morning with the Killer turns into foster brother or mother side story, which if I try to ask him to help, it turns into death. Alright, let's see. I'm trying to see what the last choice is before despair. It might be this one. I feel like maybe this one. We're gonna try this and see. It says I have unread here anyways. I forgot about all the murder. I totally forgot this is a murder scene. Oh wait, it said I had a choice I didn't read yet. Rude. Let's see. This is me trying to be lazy. Okay. Bad girl. No, not that one. Which one said I had a choice in it? Oh my gosh, did I go too far? Okay. Is this right? We're gonna go here. We'll see, we'll see. We'll see. I might have to start from the beginning. It's fine. This is my fault. I'm too used to be able to get all the endings in one playthrough that I didn't think about saving an ending. That made more sense. Alright, let's go. Support him. Look, you killed your sister, but I get it. She was a reliver. Death to relivers. I understand, Lucas. It's fine. Everything's fine. I just assume you make all the right choices again, and instead of despair, you get the right ending. I assume. This is an assumption. I'm making an assumption here. Ifs, she. Oh no, that was not right. Okay. Snap. Okay, let's see. This person posted all of their things. I assume I just have to go back through and make all the right choices, she said with a question mark in the voice. Alright, let's see. This is Mathis. I'm at Atomi Kitten's website, by the way. I've been here before. Lucas. There's Lucas. No, Lucas Route can be played at the start. This ending will unlock. Please refer to the instructions above. Okay. It's again probably just because I am a silly person and didn't have a backup. Alright, we're gonna start with Lucas at the first choice. Glitches! Ah! I mean, I like the static. That was one of my favorite ones. Alright. He loves picture books. Again, I could be wrong. I could make all the wrong choices. It's strange that you just have to go back through it. I don't know. Usually, like, there's like an additional option. Like in Paradigm Paradox,
私もこまめに見舞いへ訪れていますが、
Ah.
やはり同性の友達がいないことが寂しいようで。
Nadia will gone forever. Aw, she'll be fine. I'm just mad they didn't show her 5 years in the future and that one thing. I wanted an older Nadia. Imagine Virche Evermore Salvation Part 2 and Nadia's the main character. I mean, how cute. Let's see. Milo could be in it. Imagine Milo actually having a face in Part 2. Am I making any sense? I'd like to write some. Alright. I enjoy that at this part I get scared because there's like save here. Alright. He's a wonderful person. He's got a vampire fang and he's got like the bluest blue eyes and he's got like blonde silver hair, which is honestly all the checkpoints. The brainwashing is a little problematic and the putting me in a cage. But you know, sometimes someone locks you in a cage. He's a killer who forced a kiss. Actually, when I was reading people's thoughts on this game, someone's all like, if I had a nickel for every time a blonde protag locked me in a cage, I'd have 2 nickels. And Love interest locked me in a cage. I'd have 2 nickels, and I was like, amnesia. Toma and Lucas just having a good time, just putting girls in cages. All right. Oh, interesting. This one they say go and see Adolf. I don't know if that means that if I chose mom, if something bad would happen in that route, but I'm gonna do what it says on this paper. Actually, I lied. I'm gonna save before I do this one. Look at him holding his throat because he's dying. Loser. All right, let's see. Let's go see ad pull, as someone says. Go and stay silent. You will forever be ad pull. But then Anku's name would have to change. Support that murderer. He just murdered his sister in cold blood because she was a reliver. I'm gonna make another save. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I'm basing this off what's written here. Sometimes I'm a big baby and I just want you to tell me exactly. Question kind of question. Did you play Cupid Parasite yet? No, I'm gonna play it for Christmas. Did I literally mess this up? Did I literally just mess that up? No, but I downloaded it. I also downloaded Virche Evermore. They were both on sale for like 18 bucks. I had to get them. I accidentally saved after the choice, not before the choice, and I made the wrong choice. Someone commented in one of my VODs saying that there's a character in PO40, though, that is a very much like Lucas's character. I was like, oh, goody, yay. There was an announcement today about Cupid Parasite's fan disc is in 2024 localization, so it's perfect timing. If it's in February, then I could do the base game and then that. I was wanting to see if I could beat it in 14 days. I try not to. I only stream a couple times a week usually. So I didn't want to give myself like 14 days to beat a game when I did a 12-hour stream yesterday just to get through one story. So part of me is like, ooh, but also I'm like, maybe not that. But if it comes out in February, then I could play it all at the same time. There's actually a fan disc for this game because this game came out in Japan, I think last year. I'm not going to beat it in 14 days. Oh, is that a challenge? I could make all my shifts that week a closing shift. There's a secret love interest too. All right, we're going to play a game. When I play that one, I'm going to guess who that secret love interest is, and you're going to tell me I'm right because I'm going to guess right. What? I saw Lucas's blonde hair from between Anku's split torso. I thrusted Eve's rapier through the gap with all my might. His immortal body acted as a cover to make my blow unavoidable. I could tell through the palm of my hand that the rapier pierced flesh. Dude, you're killing Lucas. What the heck? Blood spewed from his neck. This isn't how you save people. Just hear me out. Wait. That means in this story, no matter what, half of the continent gets murdered by him? Yay! I mean, boo! Blood dripped from the sword's hilt to my hand. I know you don't like Lucas. I'm so sorry. I wasn't sure how many seconds had passed. After a moment of silence, I looked around. Remember, in my OG assumption of this game, I said I was going to play Hugo's route first. He's not playable. Adolph's, because I didn't think Adolph was cute. Mathis, because I thought Mathis was cute, but I thought he was too baby. And then I think Lucas was after that. Lucas was like top tier for me. That means that Sheen is dead in Lucas's route. Or maybe he's not dead yet. After a moment of silence, I looked around. The Watchman of Death, who had been split in two, had disappeared? Anku? Did he leave on his own, or was he returned to Hades after losing his body? I wasn't sure which, but I'm sorry that you had to deal with my selfishness. I'll repay you when I end up in Hades, I promise. I offered my prayer not to heaven but to hell. Lucas. I moved next to my beloved and crouched down on the floor to stay by his side. He struggled to breathe as he bled. Perhaps it was just instinct that made him press down on his wound, but I had pierced an artery in his neck from which blood continued to flow to form a river of red. The sight brought me to one conclusion. Damn. He couldn't be saved. I knew this would happen. I knew there was no way to stop him, but my feelings didn't match my resolve. On Tomy Reddit, and I see Lucas and Cirrus fan art. Aw, I bet it's adorable. My sister was shipping Dahat and Nadia, and I was like, no, their ages are far too apart to ship that. Anger, sorrow, and despair rose from within. I slowly came to realize that I delivered the final blow to my most beloved. To be fair, you stopped him from murdering people. Sometimes you can love someone and have to end their life. It's fine. I bent my body forward and let out a wail when... Leah. I heard a gentle whisper. I quickly looked up to see him staring at me. Suddenly, his bleeding, pale lips slowly began to move. It's cute fan art, but I really hate Lucas. Aww. Good morning. Really, why are you asking it like it's a question? I did my best to wipe away my tears. Yes, good morning, Lucas. I cut you here, does it hurt? I wanted to tell him that I was the one who landed the critical blow. He responded. I see. I forgot Lucas talks way too slow. I lost to madness again. Lucas let out a sigh of relief instead of words of hatred towards me. But this also meant that he was remembering what had happened until now. The tragedies he had inflicted in the course of a single night. I yelled that I didn't want to kill anyone, and look at the results. I pushed every possible sin onto the Relivers and acted like I was some force of justice. I really am the worst. His forced laughter made him cough out blood. I knew it. I didn't have the right to call Relivers demons. I was the one pretending to be human. I'm a monster. and he looked down on himself as he faced death. I grabbed his hand to stop his self-loathing. It was terribly cold. My hand began to shake as I already saw a future where he no longer existed. But I did my best to intertwine his blood-covered fingers with mine. Whew, what a sentence. I hate myself for being so useless. If I really did have powers like death, I would have been able to stop you before you went mad. No, that was just an excuse.
Oh,
I can't do this
これ
anymore.
以上は
I can't keep this up. Lucas actually sought death back then, but I stopped him and forced him to stay alive. As a result, I made him commit even more sins. It was all my fault. I'm sorry, Lucas. I'm so sorry I put you through so much suffering. No,
違う。
you haven't done anything wrong. He shook his head at my confession. We're not
最
sitting through
初
him
から
taking too long to talk. I was a fool
私が愚か
from
だ
the
っ
very
たの。
beginning.
カプシーヌの洗脳など
Capuchin brainwashing me isn't an excuse.
たった一度
I
差し伸べられた光に
Believed everything because of a single light
盲信し
offered to me.
独りよがりな信仰を
The results of my blind fate were what led us to this.
あげく私のような男のために
I dirtied your kind hands because of a filthy man like me. Don't say that. I squeezed his eye. He squeezed his eyes in shame. I don't
わからん
know.
なぜ私は
I
やっ
finally saw a
と
small
見
light
つ
and
け
I
た
let it go.
小さな光よ
A single teardrop fell from his eye into the pool of blood on the floor.
もう疲れた
I'm just tired now.
何度希望を得ても
No matter how many times I find hope, it always slips
こ
through
の
my
手を
fingers.
すり抜これ以上絶望に
I don't want to fight despair anymore. Ooh, poor guy. I wanted to tell him to live, but somehow held myself back from saying such a thing. No, that was something I shouldn't wish for. Showing a glimpse of hope to him right now was likely no different from torture. But there was one thing, just one thing I wasn't satisfied about as he slowly met his end. Lucas, I wouldn't tell him to do his best. I wouldn't tell him to stand up. I wouldn't tell him to live either. What I wanted to tell him was, I don't want you to die because of despair, because of someone else's evil. Lucas was shouldering sins beyond what he could be forgiven. Still, if there's even a glimmer of hope left in your heart, why not make it true even if it's only a little? I'll do what I can to help. I wanted to cry, knowing that this would mark our farewell. Hearing my suggestion, Lucas opened his eyes a bit. He then looked like he was about to cry. You are such a mean student of mine.
君はそんな言葉を
Hearing you say that,
私にもまだできるこ
it's
とが
making me think that there's perhaps something I can still do. He gripped my hand as he let out a weak smile.
最後にたった一度だけ
Before I go just once,
私はあの子のために
I want to do my best for her as her
兄
brother,
として
my very
で
best.
すがそれは
But that's something I can't do alone as a dying man. I'm sorry, you might be superhuman, but you have an artery cut. You should pass out soon.
その
After that wish,
私はまた
I'll commit another sin.
身勝手だと理解していますが。
I know I'm asking too much. Will you help me with my last fight? Yeah, I'll be with you until the very end. After all, I am your loyal aide. Dear God, thank you. As a teacher,
これ以上
I suppose I can't show my pathetic self like this
情け
anymore.
ない姿。
He moved his hands off his neck and stood up as the blood flowed from his wound like the sands of an hourglass. Dear God. No. Arpachel was a country possessed by death. Among its districts were Shadis, Carnival, the majority of the Relivers lived. Districts that the killer Lucas Proust, otherwise known as Burrow, had painted in red. More than 100 fell victim to his blade. The loss was the most severe at the Institute, the lifeline to the country. Apart from one who had gone missing, wink, 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 the entire staff was killed, including Sheen Brophy, the leader, expert in the Reliver technology. The devices he created to manufacture Relivers were also completely destroyed. With no way of prolonging their lives, the people were overcome with despair. I'm burning this route. This is what a burnt route looks like. The outraged royal family took action. They proclaimed that Barreau, now a wanted man, would be found and punished dearly for his crimes. But to one man, the country's turmoil was expected.
死んだ。シアンボロフィワーズが死んだ。
He's dead. Sheen Brophy's dead. Capuchin was overjoyed to hear through his transmitter the damage Lucas had dealt to the country.
これでもこの国に私を愚弄し
What
見下
about
す
this
者
man
は
right
誰
here?
も
I
いない。
hate this. Maybe that's what his last wish is. Fantastic. There is no one in the country who can look down at me. He smiled, knowing that Lucas also destroyed all the Institute's devices used to create Relivers. He was sure the people were now shuddering with fear at their inescapable fates. It was then that his other motives surfaced.
シアンが死んだ以上、この施設に残るリライバー装置の提供と私の知識をちらつかせれば。
Now that Sheen is dead, I should start offering the technology I own and show the people my knowledge.
保身しか頭にない王家のことだ。多少の犠牲には目をつぶってでも、目の色を変えて私に全権力を預けるはず。
Knowing those selfish royal family goons, they'll probably give me similar rights while turning a blind eye to my deeds. MC, if you do something to expose this man,
国立研究所の新たな所長
will you
とし
kiss
て
her right in the mouth?
堂々と人類強化の研究を続けることも夢で
I
は
will
な
become
い。
the new director of the Institute and can boldly work on creating a newer and stronger breed of humankind. His warped smile was so wide that it looked like each end would reach his ears. He noticed his expression reflected from a pool of blood at his feet.
しまった。我ながら、なんとはしたない笑みを。
How bad of me to think I put on such a shameful smile.
すまないね、ナディア。決して君のことを忘れたわけではないのだよ。
I'm sorry, Nadia. It's not that I have forgotten about
君
you.
はいずれ、この国を率いる偉大な科学者の花嫁として君臨するんだ。
Soon you will reign as the bride of the great scientist who will rule over this land. Capuchin spoke to Nadia, whose bridal veil swayed back and forth. But there was one thing of concern to him, the concern that he didn't know Lucas's whereabouts after he killed Sheen.
寿命を迎えのたれ死んだか。それとも発作が起きた隙を突かれ誰かに始末された。
Maybe he died of the curse, perhaps someone killed him during one of his fits.
まあ、今となってはどうでもいいことか。
Not that it matters at this point. Even if he was alive, the mind control still prevailed over his memories to kill all Relivers aside from those associated with the society. He knew that Lucas wouldn't harm him as long as he was busy outside killing Relivers. Now, no one could stop him. But the relief he felt quickly disappeared when he heard the warning siren go off.
なんだ
What the? Capuchin frowned at his happiness being interrupted by a sudden message from the transmitter. Minister, run! We can't hold him off! His followers screamed amidst the chaos. He could immediately tell that the followers he assigned as guards were being taken down one by one. After the initial shock,
まさか
it can't be. Just remember, his salvation ending involves Nadia being dead. Technically. He left Nadia behind and quickly headed outside to discover... Whee! Ugh. You monster. His followers were on the floor moaning in pain. And he was bleeding profusely from the neck and mouth. Capuchin, I think that's what he said. Lucas Proust Barreau held his halberd, appearing with Leah supporting him. He stood in front of the fake minister to deliver justice. Am I helping him? I don't know. We reached the headquarters of the Society of Exorcists without killing any of their followers, and now we were finally here to face the source of evil, Capuchin. Impossible. I feel like you could have killed some of the followers. Capuchin's eyes focus on Lucas's neck. How are you able to fight with that wound? Isn't it obvious?
今ナディアの
I'm Nadia's brother.
あの子をお前のいびつな愛から
I need to liberate her from your insane love.
その一心で
I came here with her
私は
so that I can fulfill my role.
動脈が切れているんだぞ。普通の人間ならば即死の傷にそんな精神論が通じるものか。
That's impossible. Your artery is severed. A normal human would die immediately.
ならば私は
I am what you called me before.
正真正銘
Undeniably a
化け
monster.
物なのでしょう。
Lucas and I took a step forward. Capuchin moved a step back in fear. It's no use running. There's no one here to save you. We also told the members of the corps and the royal guard that you're the mastermind behind everything. There's no one on your side anymore.
たかが小娘が化け物を従えたからといい気になるなよ。
Damn, girl, don't act so haughty just because you have a monster for a pet. Capuchin looked scared at first, but now he was a lot calmer, probably after seeing how Lucas was suffering.
少々驚かされたが、こいつが死にかけの体であることには変わりない。
You surprised me at first, but the fact that he's close to death hasn't changed.
この程度なら、私が用意した紙幣で十分対処可能だ。
My personal guards are more than enough to handle this situation. Capuchin raised his hands into the air. Suddenly, one of his vaults opened to release a number of shadows from inside. They leapt into the air and landed with their long cloaks between us and Capuchin. It looks like Lucas's "Hey girl" pose, so I'm going to assume it's a Barreau. They're clones. They came out of that device, which meant they're Relivers. Technically, that's incorrect. It wasn't our enemy who corrected me, but my former teacher.
リライバーとは記憶とクローンを構成する
Relivers are created using the
遺伝子が
genes and memories from a single person.
それにしては血がや 感情が
The ones you're seeing seem to lack emotion or self-control. If so,
私と同じなのはあくまで遺伝子だけ。リュカ・プルーストの人格や自我は
they only mimic what they've learned from my genes, which means they don't have a personality or awareness of Lucas Proust.
ナディアを作り変えた研究の応用で作られた。
I suppose they were created similarly to how he changed Nadia. They are all fake versions of me.
今さら気づいたところで遅い。
You realized it too late. Capuchin snapped his fingers and the clones in front of him quickly positioned their halberds.
自我がない弊害で、洗練さや判断力にはやや欠けるが、死にかけの貴様をほふるには十分だ。
They may lack finesse due to bugs in their senses, their sense of awareness, but they should suffice in getting rid of you.
さあ、出来損ないの模造品たちよ。
Go, you mindless
お前た
copies.
ちのオリジナルと
Chop
そ
up
の
your
娘
original and his girl until you're satisfied. The clones quickly snapped into motion in compliance with the Capuchin's command.
自分と同じ身体能力の人形3体を相手に
Let me see how many seconds you'll last against 3 replicas of you. Lucas moved forward to put distance between us.
ごめんなさい。
Sorry, clones. Before Shapukun's laughter ended, arcs were drawn in the air. The fakes all crumpled to the ground in pieces.
は
Capuchin was standing there in a stupor, trying to figure out what happened. Lucas swaying his halberd to remove the blood, then looked down at the clones dead at his feet. Lucas! I somehow ran to support him as the blood spewed from his mouth. My cry finally brought Capuchin back to reality. Impossible! And then he ran away. His confidence had disappeared. Capuchin stumbled over his own feet as he drove towards a hidden door in the room. Hurry, the key! I never knew he'd be that much of a monster. Could it be? My supporter told me about Lucas knowing this was going to happen? No, wait, this is no time to think. We need to escape, Nadia. There's an escape tunnel leading to the underground. No matter how much stronger the door was, it meant nothing to the man fighting with the last of his life. The locked door crumbled into pieces. You won't get away. Oh dear. I stepped over the debris as I supported Lucas through the portal. I was prepared for this, but the first thing that came into our eyes wasn't Capuchin cowering in fear, but it was Nadia who silently stood next to Capuchin. She didn't even flinch despite seeing her brother near death. That's right, that's right.
こいつに君は殺せないんだったね。ナディア、どうか私を守っておくれ。
You can't kill her, can you? Nadia, please protect me. Just kill her. Just kill that thing. Capuchin took a few steps back to use his bride, Nadia, as a shield, but then I heard a sticky wet sound. I looked at his feet to see a small pool of blood. I didn't recall the floor being covered with so much blood before. Lucas and I looked closer with suspicion. We found a body lying face down on the floor in the middle of the blood. Huh? Isn't that A rather oversized white lab coat had absorbed the red color. It was Nadia's newfound friend, a young man who went to the trouble of studying her disorder, who innocently told us of his discoveries. The hut.
なんだ、知り合いかね。
You know him.
なぜ
Why is he here?
それは、こちらが聞きたいぐらいだ。
That's what I wanted to
数
know.
時間前、どこからか勝手に、この研究室に侵入してきたと思ったら、この姿のナディアを見た瞬間、
A few hours earlier, he trespassed into my lab from somewhere, and the moment he saw Nadia... Already, Dahat's your supporter, by the way.
よくも、僕の友達を
How dare you do this to my friend?
などと、ずうずうしいことを叫びながら、私に襲いかかってきたのでね。
He yelled random curses at me, then brazenly tried to attack me.
背後から、ナディアに切り殺させたのだよ。
So I had Nadia slice him from behind. Why? You. So he somehow escaped from the institute, then made it to this lab after somehow finding out Nadia was being held captive
人の
here?
花嫁に慣れ慣れしく近づくから。
He deserved it for trying to get near my bride. Capuchin, I'm tired of you. Capuchin spat out words of spite as he cruelly stomped on Dahat's skull. Stop!
今すぐ、
Remove your foot
その足を。
at once. His roar quickly stilled the air.
お前にも、私にも、
Neither you nor
侮
I
辱する権利など、
have the right to insult him. Look, he's got cat eyes again.
今の言葉で、改めて確信した。
Your words have confirmed something, Capuchin. You really are.
私と同等の
You really are a hopeless sinner
救いようがない。
just like me. Ugh. Dr. Capuchin low growl was more than enough. The still air went heavy, filled with pure, unfettered malice. There we go. Following his emotions, Lucas pointed his halberd at his enemy as I continued to support him.
それは何のつもりだ。
What are you trying to do?
私を襲えば、ナディアが夫を守ろうと、自ら応戦するぞ。
If you attack me, Nadia will take action to protect her husband.
優しいお兄様たる貴様が、愛する妹を傷つけられるわけが。
I doubt her brother would ever hurt his beloved younger sister, now would he?
おい、まさか貴様。
Stop. I took one step forward in unison with Lucas. He took one step forward to protect her groom.
私は、
I
お前のような外道を信じきり、この子に望まぬ形の
I gave
生
her
を
life in a way that wasn't intended because I
与えて
believed
しまった。
in a scoundrel like you.
と、もう、
I'm sure
この子の兄と名乗る資格すら
don't have the right to call myself
ない。
her brother anymore.
ならばせめて、この子の人間としての尊厳を守るため、
If so, then at least protect her dignity as a human.
殺人鬼は殺人鬼なりに
I will do what I can within my means
で
as a
きる
killer.
ことを果たしてみせる。
Maybe if you didn't kill Sheen, maybe he'd help. Just saying. You don't know that. He only helped him in the true ending.
待ってくれ。
Wait!
ならば殺すべき相手は私ではない。
Then I'm not the one you should kill. Capuchin was pleading for his life as he hid behind Nadia.
言っただろう。お前たち兄弟の情報を私に提供したのは例の支援者なんだ。
I told you the person who gave me information about you two was my
だから
supporter.
殺すならば、
If there's someone you need to kill, kill them.
彼女、くそ、どっちだ。名前も声も思い出せない。
She, no he. Damn it, which was it? I can't remember their name. Capuchin scratched his head with frustration.
とにかく、私はあくまでそいつにそそのかされた被害者で。
I'm simply a victim who was led astray by that person and... Pathetic.
見苦しい。背後に誰がいようと。
No matter who supported
お
you,
前自身の意志で
you have
実
no
行した以上、
excuse for everything you've
そ
done
んなことは
of your own accord. His words were probably also directed towards himself.
私が多くの命を
I may
笑い
be
ながら殺した
the most ruthless
最
executioner
悪の殺人鬼なら
who reaped lives with a smile.
お前は命をもてあそんで
But you are scum who insults life itself.
罪人は罪人らしく
Sinners will be sinners.
共に冥界に落ちるとしましょ
Let us both go to Hades, dear minister.
う。
Barreau condemnation? What the heck? Rang through the room. Condemnation? That's not. Okay. The teacher I was supporting with my shoulder gently smiled at me. Leah?
君にまた
I will show
辛
you
いも
something.
のを見せることになり
It's
ま
better
し
for
た。
Lucas to work for Sheen than this man who fall in love with his little sister's jeans. He wasn't looking for support from Sheen. He didn't know to ask. I'll show you something that will only cause you more grief, but
本当に最後まで
will you please continue to support me until the very end? And then Lucas dies. Can you die already? Yes, we made a promise. I will bear your sins too. So please don't do your best alone. We will become sinful killers together, Lucas. All together. Thank you. Capuchin was shuddering with fear, but Lucas couldn't fight anymore. He depleted the last of his strength when he took down his clones. The only thing he could do now was use his weapon and me as his crutch to move forward. He could only move his near-dead body. The bride moved forward in unison. Tragedy after tragedy fell upon them. For the first time since their argument, the siblings finally met face to face once again.
Nadia.
Damn, Nadia. Her brother smiled. His younger sister stayed silent.
長い間
It's been so long.
待たせてしまって
I'm sorry to have kept you waiting.
あなたは寂しがり屋だと私は誰よりも
I know more
知
than
っていた
anyone
はずなのに
that you're always sad and lonely.
結果として
So what's happening here?
こんな知らない場所に一人ぼっちにさせてしまった。
Even so, I ended up having you stay alone in a place like that. Their conversation sounded like they were still in her hospital room. A final chat between a brother and his younger sister began. There are so many
あなた
things
と離れている間
that I need to write
日
about
記には
in our diary since we last saw each other. Dude, let's not do flashbacks. I'm okay without flashbacks.
私だって兄様の心の支えにぐらいなりたい。いつでも。でもたった。
あなたの言葉を
Your words moved me.
私
I was ashamed that I had to lean on Lee and
恥ずか
show
しいこ
her
と
my
に
weakness.
もう頑張るのが辛いと年がいもなく
I said that I couldn't do this anymore. I broke down despite my age.
ですが彼女がもう一人で頑張らなくていいと
But Leah, she told me that I didn't to be strong and do my best all alone.
本当に
I was so happy.
自分が今苦しんでいることに
It was then that I finally realized I was actually
ようや
suffering.
く同時にあなたに
At the time, I
自
regretted
分
hiding
の
my
感
emotions
情
from you,
を
which was why
呆れられても構わないから
even if you were disgusted
あ
by
なた
me,
にも
I decided I would show you my
そんな
pathetic side
情けな
whenever
い
I
姿を
felt weak. Here's what we're gonna do. No, not that. Not that. Eh. Perfect. Now I can talk over them easily. He spoke his resolve in the past tense. It was because he knew very well that his wish could no longer be fulfilled. Nadia raised her giant claws into the air. It'd be funny if they never speak again. She calmly looked down at her brother. A single swipe would easily crush the both of us together. Good, Nadia, kill him. He's the one who needs to go to Hades. Capuchin took a step forward towards the excitement. He inched forward in expectation of our coming demise when someone grabbed his foot. Is it hot? Capuchin was caught in an awkward position, making him fall to the ground. He ended up in front of Nadia, who had her claws raised high. Nadia's movement stopped temporarily as the groom she was supposed to protect leapt in front of her. What was that? He quickly turned around to look. He had faked his death. Nadia's friend was barely breathing as he lay on the floor. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say he faked his death. He might have passed out. He mumbled his final words before his life finally faded away. Nadia, fight. You can do it. If you try, come on, Nadia, fight. Is Nadia gonna have her own flashbacks?
タート君、
Even
せめて
just one.
少しでも長く兄様たちのそばにいるために。
I want to be next to him for as long as possible. Remember saying that? Do you remember? Huh? Her arms began to move again.
許さない。
How dare you? The giant bride's shadow loomed above Capuchin. Nadia? You...
私の
I wanted this to happen. You want this parasite Eve monster to talk? My dear family. Honestly, again, this would be a great Halloween costume. Look at the bones on her dress and the doll heads. Cute.
兄様。
Nadia, go kill that man who made your brother suffer and turned you into this. My dear brother. Her broken memories returned, but why now? It was no use for him to try and escape. Calm down, Nadia. You're behaving in a way unbefitting of your beautiful self. I was slightly tough on Lucas, and I do feel sorry for that. Think about it. If there's anyone else aside from me who will love you in that form, the moment you kill me, you will lose your chance of ever finding love. She's like, I'm 13, bro. Don't come any closer. I still have a mission to discover the beautiful genes that exist in this world. His bride took action against her husband-to-be. Instead of love, a blade of hatred. His dying scream continued for a moment. He was sliced deep by the same claw he gave to his bride. The mad scientist who sought the most beautiful genes met his abrupt end. The only ones left alive were me, Lucas, and Nadia, who was sitting on the floor after killing Chapushin. Nadia. Lucas and I rushed over to her. Nadia slowly raised her head and for the first time saw her brother in her current form. Brother. Lucas visibly shook, having lost all hope of ever hearing that word from her again. I'm sorry, I was acting childish, girl. I wasn't angry at all. I could hear your voice and Leah's. But I couldn't respond. I understand. But I should apologize. I forced my own one-sided love on you without knowing how you felt. It's fine. Nadia was unable to move now, but from what I could tell she was slowly returning to her kind and gentle self again. I was lonely, so I got upset. But I'm glad you were able to get back together with Leah again. It's all thanks to you for telling me to rely on your brother that day. I'm not afraid of him, in fact. I've grown to like him even more. I noticed you're more affectionate towards him now. I'm so happy. I have a new person to call family now. And now we're gonna keep her in someone's basement, apparently. Despite her words of joy, Nadia frowned a bit. Brother? This body hurts. It really hurts. The parts connected to someone else's body parts hurt like they're burning, and other parts they're cold. I can tell my memories of you two are starting to blur into a haze. I don't want to lose my memories. Can you please free me from this body? Please cure me, dear brother. I can bear the pain. Her selfish and gentle request It expressed her hope for salvation. But to Lucas, it was a new opportunity to feel despair. We wanted her to live no matter her form. Lucas groaned, holding back his wish that she continue to cling to life after a few seconds of suffering. Understood. Your dear brother will save you.
私は
That's why I came here after all. Lucas silently nodded. Even if we extended Nadia's life in her current form, there was what would wait for was despair. He forced himself to recognize that as fact, but Lucas's arms were too weak for him to swing his halberd. Leah, dude, I don't want to murder a little girl. I understand. I helped Lucas to lift and position his halberd. Girl, that weighs 50 plus pounds. Someone else was talking about how heavy it was. I wasn't because of its weight that it was shaking. Lucas took a deep breath and cleared his last regrets from his heart. The time for farewell has arrived. Nadia, in the end, I was unable to do anything as your brother.
もしも
If there was such a thing as reincarnation, I pray that you won't have another deranged brother. Please find happiness in a warm and loving family. I sneezed. Oh god, I felt it in my soul. No matter how many times I'm reborn, I want to always be your sister. Your brother. Did I do my best? Yes, you did.
あなたは私の
You're the strongest and cutest in the whole world. I'm so proud of my little sister. Nadia, I'm grateful that we were able to meet. I'm proud to have become friends with you. Do you accept Adolphe now? Because at least in that ending, she gets to get older. Thank you. Dear sister. Dear brother. I love you. The blade of liberation I held with him, and a single blow without suffering. She was already suffering. It quietly pierced Nadia's chest. I wasn't sure how long it had been. The sun was probably up by now. Next to Nadia, who slept peacefully. Aw, cute. I was now watching over Lucas, who would be following Nadia shortly. He must still be suffering and hurting inside, but his expression was strangely calm and serene. It was so hard to imagine that he would be dead soon. Leah,
こんな愚かな男に
thank you so much for being with
最後まで
such a
付き合
foolish
って
man
い
to
た
the
の
end.
ですが
Is this right?
こんな
I'm the worst killer to have
天
ever
才
lived.
愛しい人の
Yet I'm about to die
ぬくもりに
beside the
包まれ
warmth
た
of
よう
the person I love. I quietly stroked Lucas's cheek. I see what you mean. After all, you're a bad man, Lucas. I doubt those you killed or their families and friends will ever forgive you. Beyond that, I think you just had a run of bad luck. Lucas smiled weakly.
そう
You're probably
で
right.
すね
If
あの
I spent my time. If only I could have spent peaceful days with you and
穏やか
Nadia.
な何かが
Maybe things would have been different. I wish I could have fallen in love with you sooner, not as an angel, but as a human being. Before I went mad, I could have said that it was hard to stay strong. I might have been able to ask you to help me and Nadia. But why?
君との運命を
Why was I unable to
手
bring our
繰り寄せる
destinies
ことが
together?
機会なら
The opportunity was always there in front of me.
それだけが
That's my one and only regret now. The tears he held back all this time finally fell from his eyes. Me too. I raised my voice as his eyelids began to lower. I wanted to change your fate too. I didn't want this to happen. I wanted to be with Nadia so that we could send off the person we loved with smiles. Tears fell from my eyes, blending with Lucas's before disappearing into the pool of blood. The more I spoke, the more I regretted. Our hearts and minds finally joined for only a moment. That wasn't enough. I wanted him to love me more. I wanted to love him more. I wanted him to be with me forever. Dude, this all means the same thing. Words of love filled my mind. Thank you. Your words are more than enough. Leah, I love you too. So please don't forget your love for a horrible... Please forget the love you have for a horrible man like me. I pray that you find someone else who is kind and understands the sanctity of life. Please find happiness. A small, small wish. I nodded, but as the light faded from his eyes, I was no longer sure he could see me. Even so, Lucas gently rubbed his cheek against my lap and... This is too good of an end for the likes of me. It feels so warm. Dun dun dun. He smiled with pure happiness. With a last teardrop, he finally went to sleep. I took a deep breath. I caressed his cheek, but there was no response. You're done well. You were strong and did your best until the very end, but this time you don't have to do it your best anymore. Please rest in peace. Good night, Lucas. Sweet dreams. Gotta say, that was probably my least favorite one because no one's happy at all. No one, not a single person ended up happy in that one. Goodness gracious.
永遠に今誓います白い愛を
You weren't paying attention?
抱きし
He was dying. How could you?
め
Nadia died, then he died.
許し合うここにいるそばにいる喜びも悲しみも心のままあなたと明日を生きますささやかな微笑み何気ないあなたの仕草止めどない想いをこれからは二人でいつまでも消えない確かな運命を超えて私たちの愛を共にリコルスに捧ぐ
And there's another love interest who was brainwashed too, but I actually like him. Oh, there's another love interest that just like Lucas, but the character I actually like more than Lucas. Wait.
あの事件の顛末を教えろ。
I need to read this again. I remember there's another love interest that's just like Lucas, but that character I actually like more than Lucas. And there's another love interest who was brainwashed too, but I actually like him. Is it from this story? You want to know what happened?
新聞記者
A reporter
取材
interview?
あれを大衆向けの娯楽にするため、この研究所で唯一生き残った俺を訪ねに来たわけか。
You came to see me, the only survivor of the institute, so that you can turn that into entertainment for the masses.
だが残念だったな。俺は巻き込まれはしたが、当事者ではない。
Too bad
話
for
すこと
you.
などないぞ。
I was a victim, but I wasn't involved in that mess, so there's nothing for me to say. Sheen, my husband, look, he's
リ
not
ライバー
dead.
として蘇った理由を教えてほしいだと？
You want to know why I was able to revive as a reliver?
そんなもの、予備のバックアップを取っておいたからに決まってるだろう。
He's all like, ha, let me show you. Isn't it obvious? It's because I arranged backups of my backups somewhere else.
命を狙われるのはあれが初めてではないからな。
After all, this wasn't the first time someone has tried to kill me.
とはいえ、あんな殺人鬼がまた生まれてきたらたまらん。
That said, I can't have another killer like him appear
遺伝
again.
子疾患がもたらす人体の変化にも多少興味が湧いたことだし。
I'm now curious about the changes in the human body brought on by genetic
死
disorders.
神の呪いを解き、人並みの寿命を得た後、
First, I will lift the curse of death so that everyone lives as long as they
そ
should.
ちらを研究するのも悪くはないな。
But it wouldn't hurt to study it afterwards. Anku! How many years has passed since the tragedy that swept the tiny country of Arpachel? It had been a while since I last kept count. The Red Town had been restored and the lost lives had been replaced with new ones. It was so peaceful now that it was hard to believe such a tragedy actually happened. The reliver malfunctioning devices were destroyed, but Sheen Brophy was cleverly returned to life, put his knowledge and technology to good use. Within 10 or so years, the devices were repaired and he doubled his research staff. But this light was filled. It hadn't changed and was still detested and despised by the people. Among the flowers of misfortune was a shadow.
今年もまたこの日を迎えたか。
So this day has arrived again. A lone dusty grave among the black flowers. As the watchman of death, I swept the dust off the grave with my hand. Etched upon the gravestone were the words, "Here lies the executioner Barreau and his beloved partner." A single sentence adorned the
い
stone.
やあ、1年ぶりだね。
It's been a year now, hasn't it? I paid my respects to the lovers beneath the stone. That night, the nightmarish murder committed by Lucas Proust, also known as Barreau, his legacy had gone down in history as the worst incident in this country's history. The citizens who survived that incident and their friends and relatives, some among them pitied Lucas, but others held a grudge until the very end. But the one noted as the mastermind behind the tragedy was the anti-reliver minister of the Society of Exorcists, Capuchin. Further investigations were held, and the people discovered his horrifying research being conducted deep under the hospital. It became known that he used Barreau to do his bidding, assassinating relivers he marked for death. The other incidents where the Institute was attacked so that Sheen Brophy's rights to his technology would become available. Capuchin had been named as the orchestrator. In the end, he left his name in history books as the worst criminal in history and was still known as such to this day.
それに比べれば、名が残されていないだけまだマシな方か。
Compared to that, I suppose not having your name in the records is a good thing.
あのシアンプロフィワーズに最低限の名誉を守られたと知ったら、君は何と言うかな。
I wonder what you would say
リ
if you
カ・プル
knew.
ースト。
Sheen Brophy pulled strings to keep your identity a secret, Lucas. I teased him bitterly, still resentful that he sliced me to pieces before my death. I didn't feel better, as there was no response. That day, that moment when everything ended.
あいつを殺した時の感触が未だに手に残っている。
I can still remember the moment I killed Leah with my own hands. What? That night, after Leah saw Lucas take his last breath and after she gave him a kiss, she took a shard of glass that was next to her and pointed it to her neck.
そんなもので書き切ったところで無駄に苦しむだけだよ。
Cutting your
姫
neck
君。
with that will only bring you pain, dear princess.
死ぬのならこれを使うといい。
If you wish to die, use this. After my body grafted together from taking the blow as her shield, I awoke again. Unable to stand by and watch her, I tossed her in the dagger I once took from her.
どうだい？その剣ならば少しはマシだと思うのだが。
That dagger should serve your purpose much better. You're not gonna stop me.
リュカ・プルーストを殺してでも止めるとそう聞いた時から予想と覚悟はしていた。
I knew this was going to happen when you told me you wanted to stop Lucas Proust, even if it meant his death.
あの時のように止めてほしいかい？
Do you wish for me to stop you like before? No, I can't leave Lucas alone.
そうか。ならばその旅立ち、私が背を押そ
Then let me help you on your
う。
journey.
君が首を裂いた瞬間、苦しまぬように、私がとどめを刺す。
I will end your life so that you won't suffer meaninglessly from a half-slit throat. Thank you very much for everything. But now that I think about it, I only gave you more work instead of reducing your load. I'm sorry I wasn't of much help.
何？構わないさ。また新たな契約者を探せばいい話だからね。
No need to apologize. I will simply seek another with whom I might form a contract. Leah pointed the dagger at her neck. I moved behind her and raised the rapier that she borrowed from Eve's. I'll see you in Hades. We've caused more than enough trouble, so please judge Lucas and me to the fullest extent.
さばいている最中にのろけられたら
I'd
た
rather
ま
not
っ
judge
た
you
もの
too
じゃない。
if you're cuddling together.
それに私は地上での生活を存外気に入ってしまってね。しばらく
Besides,
ここに居つくことにした。
I've taken a liking to living on the surface, so I'll be staying here for a while.
罰はほどほどに受けて、彼とその妹と一緒にまた地上に上がってきておくれ。
Serve your sentence well. When you are finished, return to the surface with your love and his younger sister. I will. Goodbye. She felt no despair, only the hope of meeting him again, and thus her life ended. Finally, I handed over the 2 bodies to Eves and the others who came onto the scene. I asked them to bury the bodies together here so that none would defile their graves. But what meaning was there in doing so? It didn't change the fact that they were swayed by evil, leading them to choose death.
所詮俺は何も救えなかった半端者だ。
I couldn't save anyone yet again. As I turned my back to leave the grave, out of nowhere, I noticed a small young girl came running into my direction. It was very unusual to see someone actually step into the field of lycrases. She ran past me and headed to the grave. She placed a single flower on the gravestone. She clasped her hands in prayer. I couldn't take my eyes off her. She placed a flower on the grave of that detested killer. Her very presence felt extremely odd. unable to hold back my curiosity, I asked her
この
why.
お墓ね、いつも汚れててかわいそうだから、きれいにしてあげたくて。
It's always so dirty and sad. I wanted to make it
それ
pretty.
に、
And
それに
よしよしって、撫でてあげたかったの。
I want to pat it and tell it how nice it is.
それは
Why is that?
ここで寝てる人がね、何をしたか、私も知ってる。
I know what that person sleeping
で
here
も
did.
たくさんの人を殺すって、
But killing people is bad, right?
苦しくて、辛くて、誰もやりたくないことなんでしょ。
It's not something anybody wants to do because it's mean and it hurts,
だ
right?
から、なんでそんなことをしたのかは、私にはわからないけれど、
I don't know why they did it, but
殺人鬼さん、みんなが嫌がること、頑張ったんだなって。
I thought they worked really hard to do stuff that no one else wanted to do. With that, the young girl gently patted the gravestone with her small hand.
君
Are you?
おーい、いつまでそんな場所にいるんだよ。またお母さんに怒られるぞ。
How much longer are you gonna be there? Mother's gonna be mad.
今行く。置いてかないで。
I'm coming. Don't leave me
バイ
behind.
バイ。お兄さん、お話聞いてくれて。
Bye bye, mister. Thank you for talking to me. I looked on as the young girl dashed through the field full of spirit. I let out a weak chuckle, then tapped on the gravestone with my finger.
やれやれ冥界で本当にのろけているのかもしれないが
I assume you two are already cuddling together in Hades,
い
but
くら私が不死とはいえただ待つだけというのは退屈なのだよ
I may not die, but that doesn't mean I won't be bored of waiting.
だから折を見て早く生まれ変わってきてくれ
So please, I do hope you two are reborn on the surface soon.
その暁には
When that time comes,
この死の番人アンクーが
Anku, the watchman of death,
君たちが今度こそ幸福となる人生を
will watch over you two so you both might
見届けてみせようじゃない
finally live life in happiness. What?
数えきれない罪を犯した私が
I've committed countless sins. Am I really allowed to be this
いいので
happy?
しょうか
Many despise me, yet I am unable to remain at peace because you came after me. Thank you for saving me.
それでも
Alrighty. Alright, I got 18 of 18 here. Got 18 of 18 here. I'm going to have to call it because it's almost 1 o'clock, and I don't think, based on how long these are taking, that I'll be able to finish the next one in under 2 hours. Or sorry, not under 2 hours. Under an hour and a half, because we're almost at 3 hours as it stands. And I'm pretty sure Sheen and Eves is probably going to have a lot of talking in them, so I will do them tomorrow. I should have came on earlier, but I was sleepy. It's a condition I have. It's called I stayed up until like 2:30 a.m. last night making sure my video could get uploaded. Ha 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 ha. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll finish the Salvation Routes tomorrow. We have Sheen and Eves, and technically Adolph and Anku has some more endings. I don't know if I need to do Sheen and Eves to unlock another thing in theirs or not, but we're going to do it and see what happens. I'm also going to see if I have to just up Anku and up Adolph's and see if that gives us different endings too, because they both had quite a few photos I haven't unlocked yet. So thank you so much for joining me today. Have a lovely time. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my newer stuff on Twitch. And if you're on Twitch and you want to see my older stuff, you can visit me on YouTube. Let me know what your favorite story has been so far. Have a lovely day. Bye!